right, you guys, on my way to work. So thought I'd get a quick stream in. So I got some time. So I was gonna try to cover a little bit of ground. Can't say a lot of ground. Just talk about some of the things that's going on in boxing. So let's get it. So today is supposed to be the day. Yeah, they don't see a contract, which is Golden Boy from Tank Davis. At the end of the day, just last year, a lot of us wasn't even calling for this fight because to a certain degree, to be honest with you, Ryan Garcia is still untested. Yeah, but nevertheless, we got talked into this fight by basically, the fighters themselves, and to believing that this was a credible fight. And a lot of us was like, well, what was the significance of this fight? Except for basically it was a popularity fight. Ryan Garcia is very popular, really doesn't have any belts. Tank is a new multi-division champion, but some people question Tank's resume. And of course it always comes down to who's questioning Tank's resume, because that's usually what the deal is. So now it's looking like this fight is in jeopardy of not happening. So then what's next for Tank? Then what? And that seems to be the blueprint and basically some of the issues that's been going on with, the other side of the street. And then when you just look at this, just the whole history, of basically not being able to get marquee fights. They put on some good fights, but you wanted more marquee fights. And at the end of the day, you have the apologists for a certain network, the managers, that somehow, some way don't want to just keep it a buck. Because at the end of the day, we talk about other promotional companies having inside fights. Well, what do you think the other side of the street that did? Like I said, there have been some good fights, but there have been better fights. And we didn't get the fights that we needed to get made. And it's not all entirely on the other side of the street, but they wasn't going out of their way. They wasn't going out of their way to give us the best fights available. And that's basically what's been going on. And that's the problem. Then you also hearing that, now I haven't looked and seen, I haven't looked up late, like about the last hour, but you was hearing that Ivan Redcash was saying that the Adrian Broner fight was in jeopardy or was going to be called off because he's saying that the powers that be is preventing this fight from happening. And my question is, who is the powers that be? Is it who many of us suspect it is? Let's just face the fact. This has been something that we've been seeing going on for a long time. And at the end of the day, like I keep saying, I have no ties to nobody. I'm not getting paid by nobody. And I'm not affiliated with certain promotional companies or anybody. I work and operate on my own. And that's how I like it. I'm going to say this once again, I ain't got no boss. I ain't got no leader. I ain't got nobody. It's me. It's just me. And that's the way I like it, because I'm not meant to be led by nobody. And I don't take orders from nobody. But yeah, so here we have another fight that's in jeopardy. Well, basically, we may have two fights that's in jeopardy. I'm glad I didn't I'm glad I didn't buy that plane ticket to Atlanta. At least I'm gonna fall back on that till I have more information available for me. But Ivan Redcash was the one, and of course he said he can't go into detail, but he didn't blame it on Adrian Broner or BLK. He just said somebody is standing in the way, and I'm trying to figure out, well, who's standing in the way. Who are you talking about? Who are you referring to? I mean, if we had a clearer indication on what's going on, maybe we could come to a better assessment of what's going on, to where maybe we can have a better analysis of what may be standing in the way of this fight happening. And that's the dang problem. So I hope the fight doesn't fall through, but I haven't seen nothing about it being officially called off. But we'll say for right now that the fight is in jeopardy. I haven't heard anything or seen anything tweeted from Adrian Broner to show me that the fight is off. So I'm going to assume that the fight is going to happen. And by the way, Ishe Smith, he tweeted something very interesting pertaining to, you know, he's a guy that fought on a lot of other side of the street cards. He was basically saying sometimes the fighters don't sign an actual contract till, you know, the eve of the fight. Which to me, that's kind of questionable. That's kind of questionable, basically. But you didn't heard a lot of things about them running that organization kind of unorthodox, not traditional. But I know at the end of the day, they come across sometimes as, you know, as a gang where people online, which don't work on me. I'm not a bit more worried about nobody online. Nobody can't bully me. Nobody can't make me say what they want me to say, no matter how much they grit their teeth and get mad and go, ooh, I can't. But hey, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna tell me how to run my channel. And of course, people try to say we ain't trying to do that with you, but that's exactly what you're trying to do. You know, you have people that try to ostracize certain people, like if they don't say what they want them to say, and then they think they can say little slick stuff and, you know, make their little remarks and stuff. But that's just how they are. But once again, I don't work for nobody, so you can stay mad. I will be fine, because I'm gonna continue to put out the type of content that I want to put out, and I ain't worried about how mad you get. Too dang bad. So that's the problem. I hope Tank versus Ryan Garcia get made, because they were the ones that were getting us amped up, and they tried to sell us on this fight when, in retrospective, to be honest with you, this fight has really no meaning to it, except for the fact that it's it's a popularity match, and most people ain't even sold on Ryan Garcia. So, you know, there you have it. Now, I'm going to get to some of the stuff that was said. I'm going to get to the comments made by Tim Bradley. Andre Ward saying something on Max on boxing. And it's just going to prove my point about how sometimes how irate people get about certain things. And have you just have a certain group of people who try to attack somebody if you basically say something that they don't like. And I mean, we all guilty of doing that, but then it's what you call fan extremists. And I've done that. I've done that sometimes. And that's why I stopped getting emotionally attached to these fighters. Not a good look. Just not a good look, like how some of these other dudes is, who continue to push a narrative and basically tell lies, and then, like I said, the casuals and the clueless people will believe the content of one person. Just like you still got some of these clueless people still trying to blame Terrence Crawford for the fight with the big fish not happening. They keep trying. One of the things that like trip me out, they keep trying to talk about Terrence Crawford's legacy and his level of competition. And like I keep saying, it ain't that big of a difference between who Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford did fought. And I keep saying that. But people don't want to hear that because they so emotionally invested in the big fish to where they can't, distinguish logic from fact. And that's talk. And then once again, you get to the so-called super militant people that, like I said, like to play the pro-black card. Because I was cracking up when I saw this hypocrite try to post a picture of Terrence Crawford taking a picture with two Caucasian women. I don't know what was the meaning of that, but then at the same time, well, you sure you want to go that route about blackness? Plus, at the end of the day, look where Errol Spence in all likelihood is going to be fighting at Cowboy Stadium. So we all know what Jerry Jones did. So, where you power to the people, dudes at them. Once again, you somewhere tucked. And I'm going to keep clowning y'all, and I'm going to keep calling y'all out on y'all pro-blackness and y'all hypocrisy. I don't know how many times I got to make it clear to y'all, ain't nobody scared of no dude on the internet. None of that stuff bother me whatsoever. So you can make your little innuendos all you want. I'm always active. I'm always out and about. I travel alone. So, but yeah, this is one of the frustrations, that you get being a boxing fan. Because like I said, you're clamoring for the fights that you want to see and you can't get them. And it was funny. I did a panel. I made a guest appearances on World Combat. What's the other brother's name? Coach Mellon. Just having a dope conversation and basically discussing the current situation. And like I said before, no matter how much these dudes sit up here and get on their channel and tell lie after lie, y'all know I didn't debunk their lies and expose their lies. I keep telling you, Errol Spence was fighting Keith Thurman all along. Terrence Crawford is not part of the PBC's plans. I said over a year ago the death fight wasn't happening. I told they was going to throw every obstacle in the way to keep that fight happening. They want the man to take a Stevie Wonder contract. Then there's always this Johnny come late stuff. Then they'll put out this reports. Oh, but we did this, we did that, and like really shallow and naive to believe that because they've done this on a regular basis. They keep out a revised contract in the 11th hour when this man Terrence Crawford told them that he was going to fight with or without them. So like I said before, all this stuff about being blindsided, dude, you was never blindsided because you always had options. The PBC always had somebody that they could put in the ring with you or find you. That blindsided stuff, if you was blindsided, once again, that fall on Al Heyman. I follow Al Heyman. I don't follow on Terrence Crawford. It's not Terrence Crawford's job to try to find you an opponent, especially if you don't even know what's going on in negotiations. So once again, how you gonna say you revised the contract and that's cap right there? Well, we all know that Al Heyman negotiates on your behalf. So how you have any liberty to negotiate? How you ain't even allowed to be in the room when you negotiate the contract? So how you gonna sit up there and say you had a lawyer revise a contract? See, that's that, and I'm trying not to use that word lie because I don't want to call nobody a liar, but that's cap. And then the thing is, they always try to have people tweet that's with them and try to talk on their behalf. Like what make it so worse, you try to have Ugas, which by the way, Ugas keeps saying he was offered a fight with Terrence Crawford, that he was part of a package deal. And like I said, contracts don't work like that. Okay, so Ugas, you ain't retired. What's stopping you from fighting Terrence Crawford now? I'm pretty sure Terrence Crawford will take that. I'm pretty sure Terrence Crawford will take that fight. What's stopping you from fighting Terrence Crawford now? Once again, what's stopping this fight from being made now? Why do you have to go to 154 and fight Keith Thurman, and then it appears that possibly one of those belts gonna be on the line via the WBC, which the WBC always seem to have question mark after question mark surrounding them about some of their tactics. They go with the win. 1 minute they'll say franchise championship ain't a real belt, then they'll say it is a real belt. It just depending on who the fighter is and what skin tone they are. Like I said, I done seen this way too many times. Like I said before, you want to do the like I said before. You telling the dude, even if you basically putting out there, well, even if Bud wins the first fight, even in the rematch, he still got to take less money. Because you sitting up saying, okay, well, you got 3 belts, so that make you the A side. But then you got people saying, well, belts really don't matter. Okay, so why are you using the 3 belts as leverage? But at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford already done what Errol Spence been making people believe that he was attempting to do, which is become undisputed. And I'm sorry, it just don't seem that way. Now, I know some of these apologist channels of the PBC and Spence got y'all, one-eyed open. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Murphy from Boomerang, but which is weird. But the fact of the matter is, like, who's supposed to send this revised contract? The problem is, like I keep saying, you always hearing Al Heyman's name, but then you don't hear directly from Al Heyman. And I've said this before, and I'll stand by this. A lot of this could be cleared up if Al Heyman himself would come forward, instead of like having some of his people speak on his behalf. And all this stuff about, well, that's a boss move. Not really. Because eventually you're going to have to speak for yourself eventually. It's cool to have people that ride with you and have people that got your back, but eventually you is going to have to speak for yourself. I appreciate the people that ride for me, but as you guys know, I'm quick to speak for myself. And people need to just face the fact. Terrence Crawford been disrespected by the PBC time and time again. At first, they wasn't even acknowledging his belt when they had a list of champions, when they would be doing fight cards. They wouldn't even acknowledge this man. And like I said, I saw back in 2018 at Wilder Fury 1, when Terrence Crawford was there in attendance, and they didn't even acknowledge the man being there. Didn't even show him on the Jumbotron. And like I said, the fact of the matter is, that just showed, like I keep saying, nobody can come up with an answer. Well, you got all this money to give Canelo. You gave other people X amount of money, but then all of a sudden you don't know how much you want to pay Terrence Crawford. They already said they didn't want to give him an offer that was insulting. Like I said, how many times I got to say this? You can look up Tim Smith's interview. He said it out of his own mouth. That was showing you back then. Then you heard Keith Thurman around February, March say that he was told he was being Spence. So why is this a shock to y'all? Terrence Crawford had a fight last month. It's been a month since his last fight. What was stopping him from saying, okay, he should fight December? So you mean to tell me, oh, we could have fought in February? So you saying that you returned it in April, so what's stopping you from setting the fight for April? Once again, last fight with Top Rank, November 2021. You could have immediately started negotiating this fight. They didn't even talk to Terrence Crawford till around May or June. So how is you really going out of your way to make this fight? They done disrespected that man through and through. But that's what these other goofballs won't tell you. See, they won't get on their channels and tell you that how they constantly watch them demean and disrespect this man. And just like Coach Malachi said, what I've been saying, the shocking part about this is these is black people doing this. This is black people doing this. But then again, should this come to a surprise to you? Because there's always a lot of times black people doing other black people in. That's real talk. Just like you got black people sitting up speaking against reparations. Cut the check. Cut the check. That's my whole stance. I don't care about no FDA, none of that stuff. Just cut the check. Pay up. But that's the history of black people. All you hear is, oh man, I don't like Terrence Crawford because he wouldn't interview me. Oh, Terrence Crawford allegedly said this, allegedly said that. I mean, just all you, like, man, get over it. Get over it. You got people sitting up there saying that he didn't get paid $10 million. Like, why are you hoping? This is, like I said, this is black people. This is black people. You upset because a man got paid $10 million? You know, the funny thing is, if you look up Errol Spence's net worth versus Terrence Crawford, actually they said Terrence Crawford is worth more money than Errol Spence. All you hear is this stuff about ticket sales and all this stuff. That's all you hear about pay-per-views and all this stuff. We don't know what the real pay-per-view number. It's funny how everybody want to question what Terrence Crawford pay-per-views numbers is, but then when you start questioning the people on the other side of the street, then that's when the attitude comes. Then all of a sudden people get at, oh, well, how do you know? Well, like I said before, I was there. I was there. And it's funny, all these people that sit up here and try to justify and try to explain to why they think Errol Spence should get a lion's share of the fight. Well, he can't even sell out his own hometown. He can't even sell out his own home stadium. And the people that's supposed to be so pro Errol Spence, they don't even go to the fights. That's from that area. I'm going to say this again. I ain't really got no issue with Errol Spence, but like I said before, and I'm gonna say this once again, and I know y'all listening, I ain't obligated to be no Errol Spence fan, because like I said, I'm not from Texas, I'm not from Dallas, so I'm not obligated to say what supposed to be pro Errol Spence and be PBC friendly or pro or Errol Spence friendly, because other people might be from that area, or other people are Spence fanboys and they think I'm supposed to do it. Because we may know certain people. Nah, it don't work like that. And I'm gonna say this again, ain't nobody gonna tell me who to affiliate myself with, ain't nobody gonna tell me who to do business with. At the end of the day, one thing about me, I practice what I preach. Just like I got a black business owner that's about to print my t-shirts that I'm gonna start wearing the fights. Black business owner. Because I believe in doing black business with black people. But yeah, all you didn't heard, like I said, all you didn't heard for the last 5 years is a bunch of excuses. All this stuff about, you got people trying to, be managers talking about, oh, well, Terrence Crawford should have never re-signed with Top Rank. Well, here's the thing. See, if you over 40, you about to understand where I'm coming from. If you over 40 and you talking that nonsense, you are a goofball. You are a fanboy. Hearns and Leonard wasn't always with the same promotional company. The funny thing was, Sugar Ray Leonard technically was an independent contractor, but he mostly worked with Bob Arum. The thing is, you guys love playing Otis the security guard with some of these promotional companies. Talking about, nah, man, he need to be with, no, he don't, man. Like I said before, all this stuff about promotional companies and networks, it can be done. We was able to get Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, even though that fight was probably, you know what I'm saying, maybe you can make an argument that fight was maybe 8 years too late, due to the fact that Mike Tyson did a stint, in prison, but we still got it. Mike Tyson was at the time fighting with Showtime exclusively. Lennox Lewis had a deal with HBO. They got the fight made. Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao got made. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury got made. They did a joint venture between, if I'm not mistaken, Fox at that time and then ESPN. So at the end of the day, that's just cap. And like I said, why you worried once again, and I keep asking you cornballs and you goofies and you goof troops, why are you worried about what promotional company somebody with? It's the same question. How does it affect you? And you ain't getting a check from neither of these promotional companies. I just want to see the fights. Some of the greatest fights got made in the 80s, 70s, 90s. Promotional companies wasn't the issue then. TV deals wasn't the issue then. So why is it an issue now? Like I said, you guys sit up there capping for people who ain't giving you no kind of paycheck, ain't put no money in your pocket, but you want to be an apologist. More so a groupie and a cornball. How you gonna tell somebody, like, for real? How you gonna tell somebody what promotional company to sign with, and you ain't and you don't work for them? You know how goofy you sound? Oh, he should have never signed with Top Rank again. Well, he's not there no more. And then if he allegedly crosses the side of the street, do you really want to be in a position where one dude control your career? That's just real talk. Do you want to be in a position where one dude control your career, make all the decisions for you, and control everything from your intellectual property, your livelihood? You can't even be in the room to negotiate. Nah, I ain't giving nobody that kind of control, and I don't care what color they are. And that's just real talk. What bothered people so much is reality hit them. Because you had all these people pushing, talking about take what, and then you had these people telling Terrence Crawford to take what somebody give you. How would you feel if somebody did that to you? But like I said before, once again, why are you worried about what promotional company that somebody is with? I'm not worried about who would Top Rank, who would the PBC, who would Golden Boy, who would Matchroom, or you know what I'm saying, the other promotional companies. Samson, the smart. That ain't my place, and I keep telling you, that ain't my job to tell somebody what promotional company to sign with. But like I said, all of a sudden it got real quiet. Like I said, when that Jerry Jones picture came out from the fake pro-black movement, they was trying to talk around it. But these were the same people that was calling Terrence Crawford all kind of names, calling him sellout and all that kind of stuff, calling him a house in, calling him, you know what I'm saying, that word that rhymes with loon. They was calling him all them kind of names. So as soon as the Jerry Jones picture show up, then all of a sudden people get quiet. Then where's all that black talk now? Then it went from, oh, well, you know, that was a long time ago. Well, he probably moved on, because you know why it didn't fit their narrative? Because they came across as hypocrites. And they was too cowardly to say, well, you know what, Errol Spence, he should call Jerry Jones out on that. Because keep in mind, he tried to take shots at Bob Arum. So, and you notice Errol Spence been real quiet since that came out. Fake pro-black movement disappeared. Disappeared when that came out. They was nowhere. I mean, they was nowhere to be found. And I mean nowhere. I mean, you couldn't I mean, for real. It was like that song by the Fugees. I'm gonna find it. Yeah. Couldn't be found. I mean, it was like a milk carton. They went missing. I mean, they went missing. But hey, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't expose people. They expose themselves. They did it, not me. They did it, not me. They did it. They the ones that told on themselves. Look at all. So like I said, people can have you can do all the panels you want. You can do all the panels you want. But real people, all of these dudes, and I ain't talking about no particular group too. But if you think I'm talking about you, too bad. So you can have all your morning, afternoon, late night panels, all you want, but we know the truth. We know the truth. Y'all are hypocrites. A lot of y'all are frauds. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know, that's what I do. I'm just saying though. Because at the end of the day, man, I'm just like, to a certain degree, man, I'm just tired of these dudes, man. These dudes, man, these dudes is faker than a $6 bill, man. The fight with Terrence Crawford didn't happen because of one specific person. And you know who that person is. But the sad part about it is, you got one dude sitting up here trying to save face. He making himself look bad. And then when you sit up there and try to have people speak on your behalf from Nonito Donaires' wife, once again, how she gonna try to speak on somebody's contract? She ain't never been in a negotiation room with Terrence Crawford. Every negotiation is different. But then, of course, when she spoke out, you had the so-called pro-black movement. Oh, thank you, Nonito Donaires' wife. Man, dude, you sounded like a clown. And you know who you are. And you go ahead and respond. It was a couple of y'all that was doing that. Like I said, I don't have no horse in the race. I just want to see these fights made. Why am I worried about what promotional company somebody with? You know, they let Jose Ramirez. He went over to the zone. He fought on the zone. He took Maurice Hooker's belt, but they let him go. You know, that's just I'm just tired of hearing that stuff about, oh well, so and so need to lead Top Rank. Like I said, like, why do you care what promotional company somebody with? What's it to you? Y'all act like them dudes that sit up there. I give you an example how some of y'all say, y'all like it don't affect your everyday life. And why you like, it's just like some of these dudes that try to like knock people who buy Jordans, who buy UA Jordans, unauthorized reps, whatever you want to call them. When in most cases, them you can't even tell the difference really, because I done seen some reps look better than some of the actual shoes that you get from Foot Locker. But then you have these people that'll get online like it's the like trying to down people and shame people, and I'm like, why are you worried about what somebody else got on their feet? What's it to you? Why you care about what's going on with people wearing reps? How does it affect your everyday life? You want to call yourself having morals and principle? Oh, if that's the case, then you should be mad at those companies, those shoe companies that's paying people $9 a month to make those shoes. So where's your moral compass then? See, that's what I'm saying. That's who a lot of these dudes remind me of. Oh, Terrence Crawford should have never signed. Like, why? Why? I'm just like tired of this, man. It's just like for real, man. It's like talking to styrofoam. Some of these dudes are just like they just like, you can't even, they just unbearable to listen to. And then even when you try to present them with facts, logic, they still want to believe what they've been made to believe, being brainwashed by some of these content creators that have bigger channels. They have bigger channels, and that's basically be lying and just making up stuff. And then you have people like me that's really out there putting in the work. Oh, they always have selective smoke. And then, like I said, what go on, like, and I need to say this once again, I'm from Oakland, California. I'm from the Bay. We stand out, whether you like it or not. We stand out, we set trends, you know what I'm saying? We do our own thing. Like I said, what it look like me following somebody from somewhere else? And then a lot of times, a lot of people pretend to be leaders, but they ain't leaders. And they actually being led. And take that however you want. Y'all gonna learn. Sometimes the person that you think is the leader ain't really the leader. just keeping it. I'm just keeping it a buck. I know that's harsh reality, and I know some people don't want to hear that. But at the end of the day, you just got to tell the truth. This whole thing with Crawford and Spence did just been basically 5 years of nothing. Terrence Crawford was never in the plans, and they just don't want to make that. They just don't want to make that fight, and it's just time to accept the fact they don't want to make that fight. They've been freezing Crawford out. Somebody came with an interesting fact, and I noticed this too. I saw dudes, and I was thinking the same thing. At first, and I'm going to tell you where this all started at too. Even though these people be talking all this stuff, they confident that Errol Spence will just mollywop Bud. No, they not. Because if that's the case, they don't really be pushing. They don't really be pushing for this fight because they try to throw up in just as many obstacles. Here's the thing: if you really believe that Terrence Crawford will get mollywopped by Errol Spence, why are you trying to throw obstacles? Why are you worried about how much Terrence Crawford should get paid? Why do you care? Once again, how does that affect your bottom line? This is how I know a lot of them dudes don't believe that Spence gonna blow through Crawford like they try to pretend. Because they, for real, they didn't throw up just as many obstacles and tried to, like they throw up so much cap. Like, once again, why are you worried about telling Terrence Crawford that he got to fight Boots to prove himself worthy? Boots ain't even in the equation right now, and I just got to keep it a buck. Then you got him saying, you got people saying, okay, well, Terrence Crawford, he should call out the younger guns. Nah, he don't have to. He don't have to, because he the champ. He established champ, and he already been undisputed. They supposed to come after him. Well, we gonna see how serious these people is about fighting Terrence Crawford. We gonna see if these people gonna start exercising their mandatories. You know, Sean Porter, he exercised his mandatory. Sean Porter exercised his mandatory. We all know Danny Garcia didn't want it. So like I said, while Ugas sitting up here like caping and capping, well, why don't Ugas fight Terrence Crawford? Why don't he ask for a fight with Terrence Crawford so Terrence Crawford can mollywop Ugas in like 6 rounds? Because he gonna stop Ugas. And Ugas hit the ground when he fight Terrence Crawford. Ugas gonna get stopped in 6 rounds if he fight Terrence Crawford. And even Ugas know it. Why ain't Ugas calling for Terrence Crawford now? Ugas ain't never, like, and where are all these packages coming from? These so-called packages. You wait like a week, but then I knew some people was gonna take the bait because, look, the other side of the street know that they got groupies, and they know that they can put a story out there, and they know some of these dudes gonna do their dirty work for them and basically just regurgitate a bunch of baloney. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a buck. People just don't be wanting to hear this stuff, but they know that's what's gonna happen. They listen to our channels. But it's funny, it appears to me that everybody else that's seen the contract except Terrence Crawford. Everybody that's seen the contract except Terrence Crawford. I understand there's supposed to be some history between Terrence Crawford and some cash for Philly. But like I said, watching Boots' performance, and I'm just keeping it a buck. And I ain't trying to disrespect Boots, I ain't trying to disrespect his father, but from what I've seen, he's not ready for Terrence Crawford. He's not ready. So I hope Boots don't get mad. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm not trying to disrespect Bun. I'm not trying to disrespect Bun. None of that. Not trying to disrespect Philly. But from what I've seen, my own observation, he not ready for Terrence Crawford. That's just a fact. And then even if the PBC do decide to like really give Terrence Crawford a fair offer, they trying to age the man out. They trying to age the man out, hoping that Terrence Crawford would age out. But see, here's the thing. Terrence Crawford just stopped everybody at 147. Soon as at first people liked Terrence Crawford. Everybody was cool with Terrence Crawford at first. But then as soon as he went up to 147, that's when all the hatred started. That's when all the hate began. That's when all the tearing him down. That's when the smear campaigns started. It's always the excuse to try to like take away what the man did accomplish at 147. He didn't stop everybody at 147. And then when he does it, it's always an excuse. And I'm just going like I said before, I'm keeping it real with everybody. I'm keeping it real with anybody that listens to my channel. Everybody always seem to change their tune, and they start talking about everything else except the fight. You got Derrick James talking about what Terrence Crawford need to hire somebody that could get him a better deal, and he need to understand negotiations. So I didn't know that Derrick James served as Errol Spence's manager. See, once again, here we go with the stuff about contracts and all that kind of stuff. Instead of, oh, we believe we can beat Terrence Crawford. You never hear them say they believe they can beat Terrence Crawford. It's all this stuff about, oh, he need to do this, he need to do that. And I'm sorry that a lot of these bozos getting hit with the hard truth. And I'm sorry that a lot of you, well, actually, I'm not sorry. I mean every word of it. I mean every word. I'm sorry that y'all can't handle the truth like Jack Nicholson say, but at the end of the day, that's not my problem. Keep listening to these delusional channels that keep making y'all look stupid, because when you hear me, you can tell the difference between who know what they talking about versus somebody else. Just because people talk fast don't mean that they know what they talking about. People need to remember something. I'm from the Bay. Keep trying to tell you I know about the hustle game very well. I know about all that stuff very well. So once again, you can't hustle me, and you can't talk street politics with me because I know about the streets. You can't talk other politics about to me because I know that too. I'm not trying to say I was like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to say I was the man out there, but I was in the streets. I know how it works. So that's why when I sit up listening to these other dudes just shaking my head, it's just laughable, because a lot of times these dudes be making it up. Kind of like, because you got to understand, some of these content creators do have what you call a pimp mentality. They can sit up there and influence you. It's sort of like when you trying to talk to that chick and getting her to work for you. I don't want to go deep into that, you know what I'm saying? Like basically when you recruit, when you choose it, you gonna tell this particular person, you gonna make it look like she gonna live the glamorous lifestyle. You gonna whisper all kind of sweet nothings in her ear. You gonna sell it, and then next thing you know, you gonna sell it so good to where this person gonna believe, okay, they gonna be living a dream life. But then when it get out there, it's not gonna be what they think it's gonna be. It's gonna be rough out there. But then due to the fact that they already been programmed to believe a certain thing, that, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be conditioned to believe, why, that's just an occasional thing. But then it's gonna happen quite often, and that's what a lot of these channels do on here. They have what you would call, you know what I'm saying, the Goldie mentality from the Mac. They be trying to whisper sweet nothings into these clueless people's ears, and they believe it. They believe it. So then they get diluted, and they're delusional about what they've been told. So then they come on these other channels talking all this super emotional and extremist stuff. And then when you hit them with reality, they can't handle it. Then when you try to explain to them, they resort to name calling. They resort to threatening you. They resort to everything under the sun except the logic. So I'm sorry if you guys can't accept logic. That's, once again, not my problem. Not my problem. Like Leslie Charles say, not my problem. And then these dudes, they get mad and like I said before, I know some of y'all be listening, and I know a lot of y'all listen to me, but I'm gonna say this so you can understand. The answer is no. I ain't coming on your debate channels. I don't want to do none of that stuff. Leave me out of this. I work on my own. That's real. You know what I'm saying? Self-contractor. Work on my own. I ain't interested in doing your panels. I don't want to come on your shows. If you've been doing your show for X amount of years and you knew who I was, don't invite me now. Keep it that way. I'm not interested. I have my own lane that I created it, and I'm gonna drive through it. I'm gonna stay in my own lane. So don't come on my channel asking me to do no debates. Don't come on my channel talking out the side of your neck. Don't come here with that Hulk Hogan stuff that you be doing on other people's channels. All that stuff don't work on me. None of that goofy WWE stuff work on me. That's just real talk. But that's where it all started. When they saw how easily Terrence Crawford whooped on Jeff Horn, that's when all the fear started. When I saw how he whooped up, I was like, man, I can't wait to see this fight. Then all of a sudden, you start hearing this stuff about the other side of the street, the last house on the left, 227, all this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just start hearing the excuses. Oh, I'm gonna take the easy route. You need to go get a belt. You can't fight orphan. If we had a fight, we don't know how much we gonna pay you. We gonna pay you based off the pay-per-view revenue before taxes that we think gonna get streamed, so we ain't gonna really make no money. So you go get a check for $10. All you done heard is excuse after excuse from these goofies. I'm talking about they real life goofy dudes. Nah, for real. That's how these dudes is. That's all you didn't heard is excuse after excuse. But the moment Terrence Crawford moved up to one, they, like I said before, measure a stick after measure a stick. For real. Obstacle after obstacle. See, let me tell you something, Aubrey. This is what people keep forgetting. When Terrence Crawford was at 130, the 130s, the 135s, 140, he was fighting PBC fighters and he was whooping on them. He was whooping on them. Doing what he's been doing, whooping on them, stopping them. But like I said before, the moment he went to 147, and when they saw how he blew through Jeff Horn, now keep in mind they was kind of looking at Jeff Horn to get that fight, but I guess Bob Arum offered more money, and that's how Terrence Crawford got the fight with Jeff Horn, and he blew through Jeff Horn his debut, beat him down. I'm talking about he beat Jeff Horn down. Now, I know somebody going to visually say, oh, well, a lot of people didn't think he beat Pacquiao. Well, yeah, most people did. He didn't beat Pacquiao because it's Terrence Crawford. But I promise you, had Errol Spence fought Jeff Horn and beat him, they would have said that was a monumental victory and this is that. They would have turned that into a celebration. But that's what these dudes always been doing, been demeaning this dude. Tearing this dude down. So Terrence Crawford been fighting PBC fighters. He been fighting them. And that's the problem. They were seeing how he was whooping on them. Like I said before, when he fought Gamboa, at the time he fought Gamboa, yeah, Gamboa then fizzled down. He then fizzled out. But at the end of the day, Gamboa was a very dangerous fighter, and a lot of people didn't want to fight that dude. But of course, Terrence Crawford hands him his first defeat, stops him. Yeah, Terrence Crawford took a shot. Terrence Crawford got rocked in that fight, but he recovered. Hey, Errol Spence almost got knocked out by Ugas. If the ropes wouldn't have held him up, Errol Spence would have been in big trouble. And you can holler about, well, the referee said break or whatever, because that's what all y'all do is come up with excuses. And Ugas ain't that big of a puncher. So he been fighting PBC fighter, but the problem is the eye test. The eye test. The eye test. I done seen for years how the PBC done disrespected that man. But there you have it. But anyway, I'll be back. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm out.